Hello and good evening and welcome to the Coach Derrick Burroughs Show. My name is Cesar Quispe alongside Lane College's head football coach, Mr. Derrick Burroughs. Coach Burroughs, welcome tonight to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
We have been off the air in the last couple of weeks due to some technical difficulties, some health issues in the last couple of weeks, but we're back on and we're excited to share some of the news that have happened in the last couple of weeks. So tonight we want to focus a little bit on the last three games that we've played. We were at homecoming, and we had a win, a huge win that day about 2 weeks ago. So please share a little bit of your thoughts on that game, Coach.
Well, homecoming was a big game for us. A lot of people came from a great distances to watch us play, and I'm glad that we didn't disappoint them. We came out with a 1-point win over Benedict College. Thought the kids played well, so I'm proud of them, and I thought it was great for the school.
Definitely, it was great for the school, and I think also great for the community.
Absolutely.
We've heard a lot of great stuff. Homecoming parade, a lot of people came out.
Right.
And I remember as I was walking into the stadium, I saw thousands and thousands of people gathered outside of the stadium and made their way into the game. So this was the first time that we won a homecoming game, maybe in the last few years.
Right.
So how big was that, Coach?
Well, it was big for me because I hadn't won a homecoming since I had been here. So I guess the pressure was kind of on myself. That pressure that I put on myself to win a homecoming. It had been a while, and I thought it was important that we got off to a good start, and it was important to me that we won homecoming, and we pulled it off.
Definitely. You know, the defense played some great game that day, making some really big stops, and then we were able to win by that 1 point.
Right.
But a win is a win, and we definitely enjoy that very much.
Right.
So, what were some of the things that you guys did in preparation for that game, Coach?
We didn't do anything differently than any other game. We didn't practice any differently. We didn't do anything differently other than our field goal kicker came up with 4 great field goals to help us, push us over the top. But we didn't practice any differently than we always practice.
Last year, both teams met in Augusta and played the Augusta Classic. So they, they I guess were at home for that game.
Right.
But them traveling here and at homecoming, I think was really a big thing for us. But they must have wanted to try to wreck our homecoming.
Well, I mean, they should. I mean, I'm quite sure their coaches and their players are. They're not concerned about our homecoming. They're trying to win a game just like we are. So luckily we were victorious, and we gave the fans something to feel good about.
Definitely. At any point, did you guys feel like the game would be close? Did you feel match? How they had been doing, how we had been doing till that point. Did you guys feel that it would be a back and forth kind of the way that it happened?
I don't know as coaches whether we really get into that or not. I think we just would like to win the game, whether it's by 1 point or 2 points, or we don't measure closeness. We just want to go out and coach the best game we can possibly coach and try to put our kids in the best possible position to win games.
The week prior to that, the last minute or the last couple moments of the game, the school that we faced scored a field goal and won the game. That wasn't the case at homecoming. Our special teams really came in and put points on the board. How big is that, Coach, that the special teams was able to do that for us?
I mean, I thought it was great because the week before, I think we lost on a 54-yard field goal on that same thing, and so sometimes it all kind of evens itself out. But you still want to work hard. You still want to put in your work to give yourself the best possible chance to win football games.
Definitely. Was there anything special about that game besides just being homecoming, the festivities, and all the great energy around that? Was there anything special on the field for you that day?
No.
Just winning the game, right?
No.
Just winning the game.
Just winning the game.
Well, we have seen some great things happening here at the college in the last couple of weeks, and we're going to jump into that as well here in the next couple segments. But for homecoming, we've seen a great turnout, Coach. As the athletic director, how big is that to see the program grow?
Well, I just think that's just a testament to where Lane College is going and our vision for the future. Our new administration, our new director of sports marketing, So I just think that I'm so glad that Lane College is no longer in the closet anymore. We're getting our face out there. We wanted people to know we're out there, and I think we're doing a great job in getting the Lane College brand out there.
Definitely. We've heard a lot of people say some exciting things about the games, and we're hearing them on the radio, and a lot of people, on that day, I think it was the first time in a while that we had been on about 7 different mediums that day, radio and on the internet and on various channels. So how exciting is that?
Now that part is very exciting. We've been kind of dormant for a while, and I think this is a new day in Lane College history, that we're going to step forward. We're going to take steps forward to be out there like most HBCUs are. We're investing in our athletic programs. We're investing in our band. We're investing in all our athletics. And this is a great time to be a Dragon.
Definitely, it sure is. And I think to top off the festivities, we had the night before that, we had the Hall of Fame, where we had, former athletes who had left their mark on this campus, and the huge excitement. And I think I remember hearing you say, the only way we top this off is with a win tomorrow.
Right. Well, that was just pressure I was putting on myself. There was added pressure I was actually putting on myself, because I wanted to win so bad for the people that, so many people came up to me that week and said, "Coach, let's win the game, let's win the game." I didn't want to disappoint them. So.
And you sure didn't, Coach. You guys played a heck of a game, fought all the way through, and was able to really, really put together a good show. And, on defense and on offense, and definitely special teams as they came in and really step in. So about that game, what was the thing that stood out to you the most of that game?
Our kids just kept fighting hard, and that's the one thing that coaches always tell our kids: you fight to the end. And that was the one thing that stood out, that we never stopped fighting, even though we were behind most of the game. And we scrapped and fought, and so I have to admire the kids' diligence. And they fought hard. So it was important. I'm glad to know that it was important to them also.
Definitely. Well, a lot of great things are happening. We want to go ahead and take this moment to invite people out to check out Lane College's athletic website at golcdragons.com, to be able to tune in to us on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and all of the great social media things. And we're going to go ahead and go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the show. Cool. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back to the Coach Derrick Burroughs Show. My name is Cesar Quispe, alongside Lane College's head football coach and athletic director, Mr. Derrick Burroughs. And we have the privilege of having our team chaplain with us, Pastor Barry Cox. Pastor, welcome to the show tonight. How do you feel tonight, being with us?
Oh, feel great. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for joining us. We're super excited about sharing the great news of the things that are happening here at Lane College. And you are a big part of that also here with our football team. And so we'd like for you to share with us a little bit of the perspective of what it is to be a chaplain for a college football team, for a collegiate team.
First of all, it's just an honor and a privilege that Coach Burroughs and Dr. Logan allowed me to do what I do with the players, and just try to be that spiritual component for them, because a lot of times it's kind of, I always trying to use the example of four tires. They got the academics, they got the athletics, they also have their social life, and they need that spiritual component, because those tires are going to go, a little air going to go out those tires, and if that spiritual tire stays up, then they can make it through. But if that spiritual tire goes flat, they're going to have a lot of problems.
That's right. Coach Burroughs, how important is it for you as a head coach to have a team chaplain travel with the team?
Yeah. Well, I've always started, since I've been here, I've always thought it was a great idea to have our team chaplain. And Pastor Cox is not just a chaplain for the team; he's a chaplain for the coaches and myself. He's my brother in Christ, and a lot of times, we kind of talk one-on-one a lot to help my spirituality also. So, the label, he's labeled our team chaplain, but he's really our brother in Christ. So.
That's right. It's amazing that here in West Tennessee, we are blessed to have a football team, and also we're able to have a chaplain in our programs, and how important that is, I think, in this day and age where a lot of things are going on with technology, a lot of things are going on, so having a chaplain is extremely important. Coach, we're going to go in and talk a little bit about the Central State game, and we'll have Pastor Cox also talk to us about that. But talk to us a little bit about that game, Coach.
Well, the Central State game was kind of a big disappointment for us. We didn't play as well as we thought we would play. Our chemistry wasn't as sharp as it has been in the past, and over the last 4 or 5 games, we've kind of been in an offensive funk right now. We're hoping to work ourselves out of it, and we'll keep chopping at the bit and hoping that we can kind of work our way out of this kind of a scoring slump we've been in over the past 4 or 5 games.
Definitely. Pastor Cox, could you share a little bit of your thoughts on that game also, and maybe some of the work that you did in preparation for that game with the players?
On those notes, as far as the game and situation is, it's basically when the game is over, just the frustration of the players and the coaches, and you just try to pray for them and try to make some sense out of it, because it is a football game, but it's emotional, and some players get hurt and different things, but to try to just show them the bigger picture. How do you take, Coach always said, this adversity, because we face adversity, how to use this in a bigger aspect in life, and to move forward and stay together as a team, to stay positive and keep fighting, and just make some better decisions and work harder and those sort of things. So just kind of use it as a platform. You might get knocked down, but you're not knocked out, and just keep fighting.
And and with so many things going on with student athletes and young adults today, we need to stay or become as close to God as possible, and that's why we want to keep Pastor Cox traveling with us. We want him to keep ministering to our kids at all times, on the field, off the field, and it can't do anything but help us.
Definitely. Now we're gonna jump back 1 year, because I can remember this a little bit over a year ago, when Pastor Cox and a group of different leaders in the community, I believe a church, donated Bibles, right? I think you were the one that facilitated that, to bring Bibles to the campus. And I remember the gym filled with football players, and as they're getting their Bible each, and I think also then folks went over to the locker room and prayed in the locker room. Right. How important is that for a Christian college, Pastor Cox?
Man, that was a great day. That was a great day too. It was Fellowship Bible that stepped up in a big way and purchased those lockers and actually built them. And they just went behind the call of duty to do that. And then also they purchased 100 Bibles. And some people don't even know that those Bibles was put on the altar and prayed for. Every guy had their name and had some encouraging words in that for them. And so for them to do that, that was just big. And I think I know the guys really appreciate it. I know the coaches really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we just appreciate it.
Definitely. Now, to share with those folks that are watching tonight, we're going to run in through what game day looks like before we get there. So people wake up, they have meetings, they have breakfast. But a big part of that morning is also what? What else do we do?
We have chapel.
We have chapel.
Yeah.
We have chapel, right, with our chaplain here.
Right.
And for a moment, we're able to look at the bigger picture. And so how important is that, the day of game day, when you're,
I tell the guys that, football is like life. There's so many life lessons to be learned in this crazy sport called football. And kind of picture, I said, when we as fans, everybody want to see that big hit. You don't want to see nobody get hurt, but that big lick, like ooh, and that big lick that the players take and the players to give out. And when they get, and a lot of times when you see that big lick, just like on the field, players have big licks off the fields too. So much is going on in their personal lives and their family lives, and so sometimes they try to get up by themselves, but sometimes you need some help after that big hit. You just can't jump up. Yeah. You need some help. You need some assistance, and try to tell players that hey man, there's nothing wrong with getting some help.
That's right.
Get some help.
And the dynamics as a team, coaching staff, and all the personnel are together in the hotel, and that chapel service happens. I think it really does prepare people to prepare for the next stage. So
And coaches.
and the coaches,
Yeah.
and the coaches, of
Yeah.
course. Yes, sir. So Pastor Cox, we're really excited, and thank you so much for coming and sharing with us this segment. If there are anything additional things that you'd like to say to us or share with us or Coach before we take a commercial break.
No, it was just an honor and privilege to be here, man. Glad to be a part.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Again, we just want to go ahead and encourage everyone at this time. If you've got a computer or phone in front of you, please go and check out golcdragons.com for all the exciting news at Lane College and our sports department and all the great things that are happening. Definitely, not only are we focused on sports and winning on the field, but we are also, as a Christian college, also focused on winning off the field.
Right.
And so thank you so much for being here with us, Pastor Cox. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Coach Derrick Burroughs Show. We have with us junior Jamion Dunning here with us tonight, and of course, the man himself, Coach Derrick Burroughs. Coach, we've talked a little bit about the last two games prior to this last weekend's game. We talked about the Benedict game, the Central State game, and now we're on to the Miles game.
Right.
Coach, break it to us. Break it down
Well,
for us,
I
Coach.
mean, it was a tough game. Miles is a good football team. They won, if I'm not mistaken, they won the championship last year. We knew we had our hands full. We knew that in order to beat Miles, we had to put some points on the board. And we've kind of been struggling with putting points on the board over the last couple of weeks. And we didn't quite put enough points on the board. But I thought our kids played hard. I thought they played. The head was into the game. I thought we had a chance. It's just right now we're struggling a little bit offensively to put points on the board, and hopefully we'll work our way through it. But I knew Miles was going to be a task if we couldn't put any points on the board.
Most of the game, at least the beginning part, we trailed going into halftime. But as soon as the team came out, it was like there was a spark,
Right.
a renewed spark,
Right.
and making big stops, forcing them to punt the ball a few times.
Right.
Right after you guys stopped on defense, their third down, they couldn't convert, so they were forced to punt or forced to try to work something out. What led to that comeback?
Well, that's just a testament to our kids. They came out hungry and ready to get back into the game. Like I said, I thought we fought hard. The kids never gave up. But at some point in time, we got to score. We could have some great stops, but at some point in time, we got to score. We got to get the ball into the end zone. And sometimes I think lately that's been our Achilles tendon a little bit. That's been hurting us. We haven't gotten the ball in the end zone as much as we'd like to.
Definitely. The young man that's with us tonight has
Right.
done a spectacular job this season. Has returned some really,
Right.
Has done some great job on that. So share with us a little bit, Damien, about this game and maybe prior games. This is the first time you're joining us tonight. So
Yeah, I mean, with the punt return, I just feel like you got to get in field position, to even have a chance, to make a good drive. Because like you said, offensively we've been struggling, and that's where I go. That's be my goal every time I go out there, to give us the best field position as possible. And previous game I made, bonehead mistake, just trying to make a play. And, it happens, like being a playmaker, sometimes you're going to make those mistakes, So I can't hang my head, I just got to get ready for the next game. So.
Absolutely. And Jamion has done a hell of a job for us on the punt returning. He's averaging more than 10 yards a return. And that's got to be pretty high in the SIAC. So, I'll take the one mistake Jamion made, opposed to all the positives he brought to this football team. So I'm not even concerned about that.
In the previous weeks in our show, we have recaps of the game footage, and just about in every recap, Damien's name comes up, and we're like, and here's the. Here's Mr. Dunning one more time. Here's Jamion one more time. Here's Jamion one more time.
He's done a great job in putting us in great field position. So, that's why he's here today.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, talk to us a little bit about that game, about this last game. It was a little slow, I think, in the beginning, but things kind of picked up.
Yeah, the Miles game is one game that we mark on this schedule like we gotta get. You know, people talk about ski, but it's just something about that Miles game that it just does something to me.
Right.
You know, at halftime, you know, me personally, I took it personally because I've been here for a while, so I just made sure the guys, you know, went back out there, you know, fought, gave them encouraging words, you know, so they just showed me that no matter what, that they'll never give up, no matter what.
Right.
And we went out there, we fought hard, you know, sometimes it just don't go our way.
Right.
Even no matter how much you give your all into something, sometimes it just don't go that way. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I guess there's special history with Miles because it is a CME school, and it's one of our sister schools as well. There always tends to be this special feelings towards them, and so.
Well, I think that's most of it. You know, they're our sister school. They're probably about the same size, height, weight as Lane. You know, so we kind of feel differently about Miles. We always want to get that Miles game in. So I think it's a fun rivalry.
And it's a rivalry that extends beyond just the football field, right? Because while you guys were in the locker room, their band came out and put on a show.
Right.
And then our band came out and put on a show right after. And so, you know, and I remember thinking, I said, I wonder what they're saying right now in their minds. And so, take us into the locker room, Coach. What do you tell your team after a slow first half? What do you tell them?
I just told them to keep hanging in there because I knew some good things was going to happen for us. I didn't fuss. I didn't use any bad language. I just told them to keep fighting because I know that when you keep fighting, good things happen. And we came out and we got I think we got a sack or a turnover.
Yes.
But I know hard work and you just keep fighting. I know good things will happen to you. So that whole speech was just about keep fighting, and I promise you some good things will happen for us. And it did.
It sure did, and the game got pretty close at some point, you know. But the team continued to fight, and I think that's the important thing.
And that's what we have to learn to do right now. You know, we'll become a great team when we learn to overcome adversity. And right now we hadn't learned to do that yet. We got to keep fighting to the point where we got to keep fighting until we win the games instead of just saying, "Oh, we were close."
What will it take as we finish this season and go into next season? What will it take, Coach, to get to that point where we can defeat that adversity?
Well, it won't take one thing. It's not one specific thing it'll take. It'll take better coaching. It'll take better players. It'll take smarter coaching, smarter players, knowing game time situations. So it's not just one thing that we need to help make us a good football team. We can improve on a lot of things.
Definitely.
So, and hopefully in the future we'll get better.
Definitely. You know. Jamie, share a couple of thoughts so far in the season, and I mean, just the great. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. We've seen your footage returning some big plays where some of them are even more than just 10 yards. You really just, help the team.
Yeah. I mean, with the returns, it's kind of crazy because I didn't return anything in high school. Like, I was just a pure receiver. I was all conference as a freshman. So now it's just, we have an athlete at a quarterback, so, it's kind of more harder to get the ball. So when I get my returns, I just be like, I got to make this count. You feel me? We got the most athletic quarterback in the conference. When he runs, you might think 6. So, when I get the ball, I just got to make things happen. So that's pretty much how I do my returns when I'm out there.
That's right. Coach, we're on this coming week traveling to Kentucky to take on Kentucky State. But we want to ask folks to tune into us next week as we talk a little bit about that game. And so we will be having some coverage from the game over there.
Okay.
And again, we're excited about what's going on at Lane College.
Right.
This past weekend, the Dragons had Dragons for the Cure, right? And a great turnout at the stadium. And so we would just want to continue to invite people to come out to the games. Our next home game is against Morehouse in 2 weekends from now.
Right.
And so again, tune into golcdragons.com, to our social media pages, follow us, so you can get live, up-to-date information from the games. Coach, any closing remarks for tonight?
Well, I'm just, we're going to continue to work hard. I've asked our players, the season hadn't quite turned out the way we planned, but we can finish strong. We got an opportunity to finish 6-4, and that's our goal right now.
That's right. Well, again, thank you so much for tuning into the Coach Derrick Burroughs Show. We will see you next week. Have a good night, and on behalf of all of our production and everyone here, we just want to thank you and have a good night. Bye-bye.